stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting loud, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land, yeah.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight, we are live from the Libertarian Party of Florida convention, or we might not be live. We're not really sure. The Wi-Fi is flaking on us a little bit, but we're having fun here in Clearwater, Florida. And there's no better place to ask this. Are states real laboratories of liberty, or just smaller bureaucracies with better branding? We're diving into state power, federal resistance, sound money, crypto freedom, medical choice, gun rights, and much more. Three notable political minds stepping into the lightning round. One question matters. State power sounds good, but will it stay limited? Get ready, because tonight you decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us, this contestant isn't afraid of challenges. You can tell by his role as the chair of the Libertarian National Committee, or that he's been on my show 4 times. Stephen Nekhaila, entrepreneur, Bitcoin advocate, non-interventionalist, and he plays my game like a true Machiavellian. Easy for me to say. Steve, welcome. And you can follow Steve on X at Stephen Nekhaila. Next up, he was just on my show last week. Tonight we've got Evan McMahon. He's the chair of the Libertarian Party of Indiana, over 15 years in the fight for freedom. He's the current LNC secretary, and he's also the one of the candidates to take Steve's job. Welcome, Evan. And last but not least,
Not least, I'll take that. That's a great intro.
Rounding out our lineup tonight is one of the hardest working people in the entire Libertarian Party. Joe Hannoush is a relentless advocate for liberty, a strong messenger, and one of the most dedicated grassroots workers you'll ever meet. Hey, Joe.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, I got a little echo there, and maybe was that an ovation? I think that might have been an ovation. All right, so also want to announce March 6th, we've got a big show coming up. We're having a 3-hour live extravaganza with the great Spike Cohen, and we are raising money for You Are the Power. We've got all sorts of celebrity guests. We're going to have 12 people come on 10 minutes at a time and take on Spike Cohen and see if they can knock him out. We've got Lou Perez, Jeff Charles, Donnie Anthony, Larry Sharp, Lars Mapstead, and many more. We have a couple names we haven't released yet that are pretty big names too. So stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun. We hope to raise a lot of money for a good cause. You Are the Power. They do amazing work. I sounded a little Trumpy in there when I said they do amazing work, didn't I? That was bad. Uh, awesome. So since Trump ruined peace prizes, we wanted to take peace prizes back. So our grand prize winner tonight will get the Are You Smarter Than a Peace Prize. We also have on our prize shelf Mike Johnson's signature cologne, Swamp Ass, as well as Ayn Rand's Fountainhead teddy bear. These are a lot funnier if you can actually see them, but that's all right. I'll like do hands or something. Oh, thank you. Yeah, apparently. We also have assorted libertarian bobbleheads, and I'm just skipping ahead here because we're so late. And we have the Trump nativity set that we haven't been able to get rid of since Christmas. So somebody's got to take this piece of crap off my hands. Please take it tonight if you win. And the rules are I am the government. Whatever I say goes. They can debate each other one time. They could filibuster one time. Everybody starts off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first. Scoring works. You control the score. So if you go on X or YouTube into the live chat, Terry's backstage. She can handle all the points there. You can give or take up to 100 points. And because I'm the government and I believe in crony capitalism, any of our subscribers to the show can give or take up to 200 points because they pay us, so they matter more. And any former contestant can nuke a score, taking it down by 1,000 points. Lightning round. First questions to you, Steve. State versus federal power lines is the category. Should a state legally block federal agency operations within its border?
Well, I think the answer is yes. The state should be allowed to block the federal government from doing whatever it perceives as an overstep. If it's building a road where they don't want them to, power lines, etc. But really, why are we subsidizing AT&T and all these other companies that make billions of dollars off our services? We shouldn't have the state involved in any kind of power lines, any kind of communications or systems. We're just subsidizing these corporations at this point. I use Starlink. I'm probably paying the government somehow still anyway. Thanks, Elon. But yeah, the state should be able to kick out the feds whenever it sees fit, including when it comes to infrastructure.
All right. Next to you, Evan. Should states refuse enforcement of federal laws they believe exceed constitutional authority?
Yeah, I think under the 9th and 10th Amendment, the powers of the federal government are absolutely limited, and what isn't granted explicitly to the federal government is reserved to the states, and I would say to the individual. If Indiana doesn't want raw milk laws or regulations that the FDA creates imposed, our county sheriffs have the right to refuse to cooperate with FDA agents. By the way, that's a real thing that happened in Indiana. Sheriff Rogers literally had to live by his phone every time the FDA tried to raid a farm in Indiana. So yeah.
All right. Joe, to you. Should states require legislative approval before adopting federal regulations?
Good question. I don't think that they have to. There is a supremacy clause in the Constitution for federal government. So what they say goes as long as the legislation at the federal government is constitutional. So it would be redundant if the states had to do that. However, they could probably do it if they want to, just in case the federal law changes one way or the other. I think states could do that just as a backup if they want to keep it, again, as long as it's constitutional.
So this is the joys of doing this live. We can't get the Wi-Fi working. Now we got like a dump truck behind us or something. If you hear black choppers, none of us were suicidal. Okay, just throwing that out there. All right, back to you, Steve. Categories 10th Amendment and practice. Should states formally define which powers they consider reserved?
That's interesting. They shouldn't have to, because the Constitution enumerates the powers of the states being anything the Constitution doesn't already cover. So it would be redundant. However, if the state said, look, we're going to follow the 10th Amendment, everything outside of what's constitutional, that's on us. Everything else, we're not going to abide by. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think states should stand up for their own states' rights and actually put their foot down when it comes to federal overreach.
Excellent. Evan, to you. Should states audit federally mandate? Sorry, let me start again. Should states audit federal mandates annually?
I think that if it's a program that is operated within the state, like the state Medicaid, Medicare programs and things like that, then absolutely. As far as individual states auditing federal programs, no, but I believe the representatives we elect as should be answering to the state finance officer and ensuring that they but I don't necessarily want any control of going into a federal agency. Resources, I'd rather him find corruption and waste back home in Indiana.
Excellent. All right, Joe, to you. Can states nullify federal executive orders?
If they're not constitutional, absolutely. Just like we see now with the tariffs, I believe the SCOTUS just said that the Trump's tariffs were unconstitutional. It'd be interesting to see if they would, in that ruling, that states could do that too. I would like to see that, obviously, as long as it's ruled, not constitutional. Yeah, I'm a libertarian, so I want states to, if we're going to have a government, make it as local as possible, so at state level rather than federal. Yeah, hopefully they could nullify it, sure.
Excellent. All right, Steve, back to you. Categories: medical freedom. Should liability protections be abolished?
Absolutely. We saw it ourselves during COVID. The vaccine manufacturers actually got federal protections for their product, their untested product. And so anytime somebody gets a negative COVID shot reaction, for instance, there's no repercussions, there's no way to get any kind of remuneration. And this has been longstanding. The federal government's also protecting companies like Bayer, which is a German company, for Advil, or an aspirin rather. They're protecting pharmaceutical companies to basically make it so that as a consumer of these products, if you're taking an over-the-counter product, you cannot seek any kind of compensation if you have a reaction, even if it's something that they're not listing. So this opens the door to the pharma companies essentially working together with the government to push products untested. It's like saying if a feature didn't work in a vehicle, if your car caught fire, you can't sue Ford or Toyota or whatever the case is. Well, too bad if your family died inside, you can't sue those companies. So those protections should absolutely be repealed. And as a matter of fact, a lot of pharmaceutical companies even work into their budget how much money they would need to spend in making families whole when they do have issues before they actually disclose them, because their profit margins would be greater than whatever it would cost to actually take care of those families. So these pharmaceutical companies should not be having these special protections.
Excellent. All right, Evan, to you. Should alternative treatments be protected?
Absolutely. You have the right to whatever type of medical treatment, care, and advocacy you want that you deem is appropriate. I don't care if it's energy manipulation or carrying crystals in your pocket, traditional Chinese medicine. If it works for you and you want to try it, you have the right to advocate for yourself. I think that the right to try laws are incredibly limited and they only focus on a couple of key things. You have the right. It is your life. The government doesn't tell you how you medicate for yourself and your family, period.
All right. Joe, to you. Should vaccine mandates be banned?
By the government, yes. If a individual company wants to, there's no shirt, no shoes, no service. So if an individual company wants to, drug test or have, certain uniform requirements, etc., they could do that, and then people can quit that job and put them out of business until they change their policies. So it's about freedom of association. The government should not be doing that at all. But individuals can choose to associate with companies that do that or not.
So I have a question, please. I want to comment on that. Is that a filibuster?
No, you can add to it.
Okay. I have a compromised immune system. I have to be careful on the types of vaccines that I get because I can have severe side effects. But the government told me I have to get the COVID vaccine that was untested, untried, rushed through, or I would lose my career. The government doesn't have the risk. The risk is on the individual. Any mandate where you don't have the risk is unethical and immoral and it just has to be objected to. It has to be resisted. Even if you want the vaccine, even if you want these things, I'm not anti-vax, I'm anti-mandated vax. I don't want my nephew to bear the burden of whatever horrible thing may happen from something because his school says he has to have these vaccines to be able to go and read and write. It's just absolutely immoral for them to make those decisions of liability for you when they take none of the risk. I'm off my soapbox.
All right. I think we were to Steve next. Yep. Categories: free speech protections. Should whistleblower protections expand?
Should whistleblower protections expand? Well, we saw quite a few whistleblowers in the past few years. We saw Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, and others who basically had to go to countries like Russia or sit it out in like the Guatemalan embassy for months or years on end because they blew the whistle or partook in journalism that could be considered whistleblowing, and exposed that our government's been spying on us. Our government has domestic spying programs that go way beyond what the FBI or whatever protections we thought we had. And so what did the administrations do? They just kind of brushed them under the rug and went after these people. So absolutely, I think when something bad happens in the government and somebody blows the whistle on it, they should be protected. But in our case, they have to flee the country. They have to find asylum in somewhere else because the powers that be don't like that. So there should be better whistleblower protections. The government shouldn't have, as Julian Assange pointed to, all the things that he exposed himself and still hasn't been able to get back here.
All right, Evan, to you. Should campus speech codes be banned?
If you're talking about a private university, absolutely. But a private institution has the right to determine what their code of conducts are. And it's important for us to remember that private organizations can and should limit what can be said and done on their property. But as far as public universities, public campuses, absolutely, it should be the beacon of free speech. It used to be that way in this country, that universities fostered free speech and fostered, different ideas and opinions. And now it's just gone to the point where if you even hint at having an alternative thought, you're vilified and run out of the university and have your career destroyed. Or you're a student who ends up being targeted by the government for the protected speech, or maybe you've been black bagged to another country, as we've seen a couple times recently. But yeah, free speech does need to be protected, especially in the public square.
Excellent. Joe, to you, should anti-boycott laws be repealed? Big one in Florida here.
Anti-boycott laws. So it's a double negative there, I think. If people want to boycott a company, I think they should be able to, and I don't think government.
Right now in Florida, you're not allowed to boycott any company because they're in Israel. DeSantis signed that law.
I can do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to.
Signed it in Israel, by the way.
No, if you want to buy a product from any country or not buy a product from any country, you should have the right to do that, and government should fuck off.
Excellent. All right. Steve, back to you. Categories: parental rights. Should all medical decisions for minors require parental approval?
Yeah, absolutely. As a father of a 4-year-old girl, absolutely. There are places now, states where medical care, in some cases, gender affirming care, whatever the case is, could be something that is done without parental permission. I know that's a whole culture war topic, but The parents should be involved, and I think conversely, the state should not be involved when parents believe that the child needs a certain treatment that the state might not like. There's many cases in Florida, ongoing cases recently. Shout out to You Are the Power and Spike Cohen for doing great work, reuniting families that have actually been separated because the state decides you can't have this treatment, you can't have that treatment for your kid, even though their kid is literally dying and the treatment is working for them, but the state thinks they know better. So when it comes to parental consent, whatever you think is best for your kid, whatever it is, the state shouldn't be involved in the process to say, or any other adult should be involved in the process to say, this is what your kid should have, whether it's a vaccine or other treatment. The parents should be involved. And if they think that treatment is good for their child, whatever it is, then that should be up to the parents, because it's up to parents to raise kids. It's not up to the state to raise your kids for you.
All right, we're rolling now. Evan, to you. Should parents be allowed to opt out of curriculum at schools?
Talk about this back home in Indiana. If you're in a public school, which first of all, you should opt your kid out of public school. But if you still have your kid in public school, I struggle with the idea of opting out of educational materials. Part of being in a public school setting is the agreed upon curriculum where you're being exposed to the idea that there are other people who live in this world and that you are going to have to interact with them. If you don't like that, pull your kid out of that school. But it is a tough one because there are some things that I think a parent should be able to say, I don't want my child exposed to that. It's a tough thing. I think that if you're very, very concerned about it, then you probably should pull your kid out of the school to begin with. There are tons, and I'm a big free school choice advocate. There are tons of different options. There are different community programs. There's group learning programs, unlearning programs. I think that instead of trying to figure out ways to opt out of this or not do this or not participate in that or find a constitutional way to get around this religious instruction, why don't we just dismantle the public school system altogether? It's a 450-year-old program that doesn't work. All it does is create, people who are geared to going to prison. It's a prison pipeline. So, yeah, opt out, but opt out of the whole thing. Sorry.
All right. Joe, to you. Should schools disclose third-party contractors?
I would hope so. Those things should be going through the school board anyway, so it should be public record and transparent 100%. Yeah, I would definitely want to know where my tax dollars that the school board extorted from me is going toward. It's like these NGOs and who owns those, and are they friends and family of the school board members or other government employees? For sure, yeah, 100% transparency.
Or somebody on the Epstein list taking pictures of your kids every year.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
How dare you?
The largest school day, picture day photographing company, the CEO and founder of it is definitely connected to Epstein, talked about going to parties, like, yeah. Light touch? Yeah. Yeah, it's so creepy. So creepy. That doesn't count.
I muted myself. The chat's going to be all over my ass for that. All right. The next category is drug policy. This is brought to you by Zoom Beyond Shrooms. You can find them at xumtrip.com. The category is drug policy autonomy. Stephen, should cannabis be fully legalized?
Sponsored this question. Yes, cannabis should have been legalized decades ago. It should have never been illegal. There are countless people, non-violent criminals in prison right now, to this day, still for cannabis laws. And I think it's really fucked up that even though Florida and other places have legal cannabis or mostly legal cannabis, there's still people serving decades behind bars for smoking or using a mostly harmless substance that adults should be able to have the right to use. So the whole war on drugs needs to be abolished. We need to legalize all drugs, let society create its own social norms, and let people, consenting adults, choose what they want to do with their own bodies. That's an individual right.
All right. We don't have legal cannabis here though.
You can get a card, but it's
Yeah.
cheaper to get it in the black market anyway.
Exactly. All right. Evan, to you, category is, sorry. The next question is, should psychedelics be decriminalized?
The government shouldn't be telling you what you can and can't put in your body. I don't care what it is. This ring right here is, I've been sober for 23 years, recovering drug addict and alcoholic. My inability to process those things does not limit your ability to choose that as medicine or a good time. The government has no right to tell you what it is, so I can skip it all and say everything should be legalized. And when I say legalized, I don't mean taxed, I don't mean regulated, I mean you have the right to grow it, produce it, give it, sell it, share it without the government sticking its big nose in.
I just want to add one thing to that. Go ahead. Taxation is theft. You got to say that for the point.
Yeah. Taxation is theft.
All right.
And because I got saying something about this last time, into the Fed.
All right. Joe, to you, should federal drug scheduling be ignored?
It should be descheduled. It should be repealed. Whatever the thing needs to be, executive ordered, whatever. It needs to be gone, taken off, decriminalized, whatever the term is. I don't know what the term is, but yes, gone.
All right. And that'll take us to our first score break, maybe our last score break. We're going pretty fast here. All right. So if you haven't put your scores in the chat, do so now. And we've got William says 100 points to me. He is the government, and he's taxing me, stealing my earned points. That's fair. We got a bunch of highs in here. 100 to Joe for doing the show in a broom closet. Yeah, so somehow we always give Joe the shittiest spot on any stage. Joe, could you stick your finger in the electric panel and see if it's live for us? Yeah. That's fair. Oh, Addison, you're here. Hey, Addison. Battle of the Beards. That's fair. Yep, we got 4 beards up here. 100 to Evan for the mic drop censorship. That's fair. I accidentally, I think I either muted you or something while we were doing it. So you got to. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so that was, yeah, I am a Fed. Yep, that's true. This is not an ice machine behind me or whatever. This is my windowless fan. 200 Joe, make government as local as possible. 100 to Evan, I couldn't hear anything he said, but it was still probably better than Joe's answer. You want, hey, Joe, you can't see the screen, but you want to guess who that was from?
Ryan.
No, scientific.
Oh.
200 to Steven and liability protection. 100 to Steve, jab talk with facts. But which beer will win? Is Wendy here? Wendy? Hey, Wendy. 100 to Steve for doing sauna workout videos before they were cool. What's up, Brett? He's working on a career after this. It's lucrative once you finish here. Yeah.
I mean, I've got going on. Onlyfeet.com. Yeah.
All right. 100 to Steven for having the same haircut and beard as me. You got 100 points for that. 200 to Evan, great answer. 100 to Evan for getting applause for his first answer. Sorry, I didn't listen to it. Marcus from Black Powder Podcast is on here. 100 to all the panelists that have been, of course, have been on the Black Powder Podcast. 142 to Joe for the best beard. That's not correct. I have the best beard. 100 to Evan. Correct. The government didn't have to risk the jab. The people did. Well said, brother. 200. Dude in the middle. Their names are on the screen. Dude in the middle is Evan. 200 to Stephen for whistleblower protection. 200 to Evan, protect free speech. 100 to Evan, college campuses should be the beacon of free speech. 100 to Steve and Evan for the free medical advice. I definitely got what I paid for. 200 to Joe, F that, boycott any country we want. 100 to Joe for doing whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever the fuck you want to Joe. It's got a theme going here. 200 to Joe for dropping the F-bomb twice. Yeah, but you're still behind Trump in bombs dropped. So you try to keep up. 100 to Joe, do whatever the F you want. Joe doing the show in the utility room. We got more points for that. 200 to Steven. You know, Joe used to get in trouble for being in the utility room. Now he's getting points for it. Points to Steven for the You Are the Power shout out. Points to Steve. Points to Steve for looking at the camera like he's a Fed. Points to Evan, homeschool your kids. Points to Steven for not co-parenting with the government. 200 to Evan for telling the people to opt their kids out of homeschool. 100 to Evan for getting Dr. Pepper to sponsor the show. 100 to Evan for school choice. Minus 2 million to me for being muted. I see you, Casey. 200 to Steven for cannabis legalization. 100 to Steven, free nonviolent drug offenders. 200 to Evan, the government should not tell us what to put in our bodies. 200 to Evan for his recovery and promoting to not limiting others. And 200 to Joe, taxation is theft. 200 to Joe for going this long without mentioning license plate stickers. He's got his 20-minute coin from AA. Oh, so you get a little flavor for how the chat goes on a regular basis, basically chaos. So I didn't even have this added. So I had it added and then it crashed, and then I had to add it again and then it crashed. And in the lead is Evan, 1,800 points. It turns out muting you was a good idea. Steve's got 1,200 points, and Joe in the positive for the first time ever on the show at 952. I blame the broom closet personally. All right, let's keep going. We only got like 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna breeze through some. Yeah, Steve, do you categories firearm policy? In this category, we've got free Dexter Taylor on it. Donate to get Dexter Taylor out of jail for not doing anything wrong. The question is, should states nullify federal firearm laws?
Yeah, absolutely. The state should nullify federal firearm laws. Every firearm law is unconstitutional. If you can bear it, if you can hold an RPG or, I don't know, a Toyota Tactical or whatever the case is, you should be able to bear it. If you can hold it, you can bear it. You should be able to own it. The whole point of the Second Amendment was not to hunt deer. It was to protect ourselves from our tyrannical government and foreign threats. So we should be as well armed, if not better armed, than the federal government. And on top of that, the whole point of the Second Amendment was that the people are the militia. We shouldn't even have a standing army, because the founders knew that if you had a standing army, you would use that to go drop bombs in Iran and go into Venezuela and Iraq and all these Taiwan, all these other countries. So if we had what a true Second Amendment, what a well-regulated militia means is a militia that is well prepared to fight the threats that exist, then you wouldn't need a massive military budget. You wouldn't need giant Pentagon spending bills. You'd only need the people to preserve and protect a free state. And quite frankly, if America was under attack, I think most people would raise up arms against that threat, wherever it's from. We don't need a massive military sending us overseas, dropping bombs and waging war for other states and for the satanic pedophile cult that runs our government. So yes, we should have all of our firearms, and we should be able to own everything that your hearts desire.
All right. Evan, should permitless carry be nationwide?
Absolutely. Marriage license, gun licensing were all born out of one thing: to keep people from being able to protect themselves and to create families. The history of any of those types of licensing schemes always dates back or tracks back to wanting to keep minorities from being able to create families, wanting to keep minorities from being able to protect their communities. Classic case: Martin Luther King Jr. applied to get a gun, and he was denied a permit. This was a peaceful man, but he wanted a gun, and he was denied being able to get a permit. He carried one anyway. I do not need a a slip of paper from the government to tell me how to protect myself and to protect my family, to protect my property, and to protect my neighbors.
All right. Joe, to you. Should gun registries exist?
No, absolutely not. And the Constitution is right here. We have a permit to carry whatever we want in the Constitution. Even if we didn't, like Evan said, we don't need a piece of paper from the government to do that. We have an inherent right to do it. So that's common sense, and get government out of it.
All right. Stephen, to you, the category is decentralized finance and crypto. Should states actively recruit crypto mining and data center operations?
No, I don't think they should. I think that we should abolish legal tender laws and allow the free people to decide what currencies they want to use rather than the government giving us a worthless slip of paper called the dollar that they get to devalue and export around the world as debt. We should be able to choose our own currencies, whatever we decide, whether it's Bitcoin, Zano, whatever, gold, silver, seashells, doesn't matter. It should be up to the market to decide on currency. I don't trust governments to create and manage currency, even if it is crypto. To be honest, if the government has a crypto, I trust it even less. We see that with the rise in CBDCs and the push towards a cashless society. So I think that a free society requires free money. It requires money that is not controlled by the state. So I don't think the state should be involved in Bitcoin or any other type of currency. They should be out of it.
Excellent. All right, Evan, to you. Should competition among states be encouraged through the offering of zero crypto tax policies?
Interesting. I don't think that there should be tax on anything. So, and I'm not familiar with zero tax crypto policies and
Well, like we won't tax crypto, kind of like not taxing crypto, capital gains, that kind of thing.
I feel like if you open the door up and you allow one segment to not be taxed, you're killing the ability to kill the entire tax system around that thing. So I question whether or not it's a good policy to do that, because now you're going to allow that tax to stand for other things in the same market. All of that tax should be done away with. But I think the way that you create competition is by allowing communities to create their own community currencies. New York, Pittsburgh, Boston, Harlem, even in Indianapolis had their own community currencies at one point in time that were traded and used for bartering. People would work and do jobs. And when I say used to, that was up until the 90s. These still existed. 1990s. I know that was the last century, but it's not really that long ago. Yeah. But you're a baby. You're like in your early 30s. That's the way you create that competition is by encouraging communities to create their own currencies, whether it be crypto, paper, seashells, apparently, whatever it is. That's how you create it, is you get out of the way of communities that want to invest and create their own system of exchange.
All right. Joe, to you. Should states ban use of a federal CBDCs within their borders?
Banning the federal government from having their CBDCs in their states. Yes, if I understood the question correctly. So yeah, the state should be able to nullify unconstitutional federal laws, period. And the Fed, taxation is theft. What else can I do? Abolish the ATF. I'm trying to get points here. All right, that's it.
All right.
Can I say something?
Not right this second. No, hang on. Sorry. Should questions to you, Stephen? Should private currencies compete freely with the dollar?
I mean, we already see it. Well, it's not a private currency, but we see the dollar. The dollar's on the way down. You see it with the rise of BRICS in the East, the rise of a gold-backed currency. It's the writing's on the wall for the dollar. I mean, nothing exempts the dollar from the morbid roll call of every fiat currency that has gone to zero. We saw it in Argentina and Venezuela, Zimbabwe. We saw it during Weimar Germany. And the funny thing is, even if the dollar's up, it's still down compared to gold, which is the true measure of a currency's value. So all fiat currencies are decreasing. The yuan, the mark, the peso, you name it. We need private currencies. We need a free market in currencies and transactions. And without it, we will face dire consequences. Plus, the government can just print as many dollars as it wants. So if you have private currencies and you get rid of legal tender laws and people abandon the dollar, and they no longer accept the dollar, now you've defunded the federal government because they can't just continue to print currency out of thin air and devalue the dollars in your savings. So yes, we should have private competing currencies against the dollar.
Awesome. Evan, to you. Should local community currencies be legalized statewide?
I think I just said that.
Just because you cheated and went ahead doesn't mean you don't
Sorry.
have to answer.
I mean, I actually have a collection of different community currencies, including coins, the Liberty dollars, dating back. I think the earliest one that I have was from 1862. So I have a large collection of them from across the U.S. I believe in community currencies. I believe that that's, the labor, the value, the backing of whatever it is within your community. And that's what really drives your local economy, what really drives investment. That's everybody knows what it is. Everybody can trade with it. They see the value of it. They know that people have put into it. So do I think that they should create laws allowing it to be statewide? I think that they should abolish all laws restricting community and cryptocurrencies, period.
All right.
I
Hang on. I had to mute you because I can only have one mic going at a time, so I missed that part. Joe, to you. Should states remove barriers to barter exchanges?
Yes, absolutely. I think there should be a farmer's market for everything. Get rid of the government, taxing anything at all, any transactions. I think if individuals or different third parties want to use the government as a mediator for any contracts, I think that's okay. But as far as but they should be able to opt in or opt out of that, both parties included. So it should be farmers market. People should be able to go and trade with whoever they want, and not have the government impede on that.
All right. Steve, to you. Category sound money policy. Should states challenge the Fed's monopoly?
States should challenge the Fed on the terms that the Fed should be abolished. The Federal Reserve and the IRS should absolutely be abolished. We should not have a Federal Reserve. Should states challenge it on terms of creating their own currency? Again, I don't think the answer is yes. I'd like to see a non-state-backed currency. I'd rather see something in terms of maybe a gold or silver-backed currency. If states were going to do it redeemable in gold, that might be something I could support because at least it's based on an asset, and the state could just use it as a means of exchange, but would be redeemable in gold and silver. But other than that, I'm against all forms of fiat personally. And crypto is kind of fiat, but it's a finite value and it's not controlled by a central entity. So if it's a gold and silver-backed currency, maybe. I think it'd be better than what we have now with the Federal Reserve, but I do think that the money belongs to the people, and we should be experimenting with gold and silver-backed currencies now.
Yeah, I agree. Evan, to you. Should states protect financial privacy in transactions?
The state doesn't understand technology. Their understanding of the limitations, the abilities are 10 years older than whatever is currently going on. What we actually need is a system to hold companies accountable for how they manage our data, whether it's transactional history or just our consumer history, what we're doing. And we have the right, should have the right to know how our data is being used. As far as transparency reporting, I don't think it's anybody's business what I do with my money. I don't need to know what you do with your money. I just need to know that if you mismanage my money, mismanage my data, I should be able to seek legal recourse against you. But right now, those companies are protected.
All right. And unfortunately, we've reached the end of the night. So last question to you, Joe Hannoush. Should states recognize gold, silver, and crypto as legal tender?
Yes, they should. First of all, the state shouldn't decide what is legal tender or not. Again, the government could be a mediator for what two individual parties want to use as a construct. But for everyone else, of course, not for me, because I lost all my non-US dollars in an unfortunate boating accident.
That's funny because our sponsor, Zoom, I lost all of my merchandise from them in a boating accident as well. So yeah, that happens. All right.
It was delicious. I didn't really. My boyfriend did. Arrest him.
All right. So let's jump into the chat one last time here. Amity says 200 to Joe and gun registries. Sai's got 100 to Evan for setting his mood ring to peaceful. Is that a setting? That's pretty good. That's nice. Yeah. 200 to Stephen, abolish illegal tender laws. 100 to Steve for acknowledging my seashell investments. 200 to Joe, abolish the ATF. 100 to Joe for having the most Florida aura. That's absolute fact. Florida or maybe San Francisco or I don't know. Al Qaeda maybe. There's a bunch of different looks you got going on there. Minus 100 to Free for ignoring the lady in the crowd. She was delivering the pizza Joe ordered. That's probably true. 200 to middleman Evan for bringing up his coins 2 shows in a row. That's how trends happen on this show. Yeah, we're gonna have Ask Evan about his coins just randomly in the middle of the show. Hey Evan, what's in your pocket? Wait, no, don't ask Evan that. Wait, no, that's the wrong question. That's the wrong question. 200 to Stephen, abolish the IRS and the Fed. 100 points to Stephen for abolishing the ABC agencies, and 100 to all. Great job from the great Marcus Matthews, who I like to call Dollar Store M&M, from the Black Powder Podcast. And all right, let's check this out. Drum roll, please. Evan with 2,200 points. Steve with 2,100. Joe with 1,952. Joe, you came in 3rd place. It's happened literally like 19 shows in a row. How are you feeling?
I'm in the positive. What can I say? After the government tax, I'm still in the positive. I love the people. Thank you very much. This is like a win for me. Thank you.
You're an actual politician and you're in the positive. So I could see that would be a good thing for you. Anything you want to plug? How can they donate money to your campaign?
I'm running for as a libertarian candidate for State House here in Florida, District 28. So please, if you'd like to donate to me, go to my Twitter page, Joe Hannoush. And you could, I think the pinned post is a donate page. I'm not 100% sure on that. You might have to look at all my tweets. They're all based, so you'll actually have a good time. So enjoy it.
Awesome. All right. Steve, 2nd place. What do you think?
I'll win one of these days. I'm getting the clippings on the game show, so eventually I'll win. No, had a good time. It's the weirdest timeshare meeting I've ever been to, but I'll take it.
And just on a personal note, I just want to say what a great job you've done as chair of the party. You've gotten so much enthusiasm going. People that were totally black-pilled and MFing everything was going on are now like, I could see this working. And a ton of credit. You brought a lot of different people together from all different ideologies, factions, different levels of mental delusion, and brought us all together, pointed us in the right direction, and we really appreciate you, brother.
Say, if you're not a member, go to lp.org, sign up for our newsletter. It's free. Become a member for $25. You don't have to change your party registration, but we appreciate it if you did. And also check out the lnc2026.com for the national convention in May. You can come, participate, have a great time. I'll be there. I'll say hello to you. And yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, we're doing the live show there too, right?
Yes, and we're going to be on live with free, so you get to watch us again.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live, and we probably will press less wrong buttons that night.
Better Wi-Fi.
Awesome, better Wi-Fi, hopefully. All right, Evan, you are the big winner tonight, man. What do you think?
That 2 for 2. I think it's great. Thanks everybody in the audience. Thanks Free for censoring me over and over again. It was great. I think that really helped.
You're in DeSantis country. I had to censor you. The Florida people got it.
I'm running for national chair, and if you liked what I had to say and you're going to be a delegate in 2026 in Grand Rapids, please get your packages now, get your hotel rooms. I'd love to have your support. If you're not going, I don't care. That's pretty much it. So thanks for this is a really fun event. I really enjoy watching your show and coming on here now twice. It's a lot of fun to hear other people butcher questions that you would love to answer. It's great. I love it.
Joe's sitting right next to you.
Yeah,
That's
I
so rude.
I was trying not to look
So
at him.
rude. That is so rude. Usually we wait until his phone dies and he loses the stream altogether before we talk about him, which is sometimes only like 20 minutes in, so we have a long time to do that. But no, Joe and I are great friends, if you can't tell by our banter tonight. But yeah, thanks everybody. Sorry this was an abridged version of this, but you got a little taste for it. Those of you that this is your first time seeing it, you can follow us on X. I am Smarter Game Show. Terry is Bats T76. Our gear is available at freedomsuperstore.com. We have shorts for this that'll be up on YouTube. At Freedom Uncut is the username. And thank you to Xano. Your privacy matters. Choose Xano, the leading blockchain platform that prioritizes confidentiality and security. And if you're new to the space, intro.xano.org. And we're going to be at 4 more conventions after this: Virginia, North Carolina, Texas, and then the national convention in May. Check out the You Are the Power fundraiser, March 6th. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We love you so much. You make this all possible. And thank you to everybody that was here live tonight and put up with all of our technical stuff and our tomfoolery. We appreciate you. Good night, y'all.